Hey, this is Stephen Platinum, your friend in wrestling, with the first edition of Platinum versus NXT. This took place on November 18th, 2020. Of course, if you follow me regularly, you know I already do a Raw report. Platinum versus Raw, Platinum versus AEW Dark, Platinum versus AEW Dynamite. Recently has been told to me that I should do NXT and SmackDown as well because sleep is overrated. However, I'm happy to give it a shot, and if people enjoy it, I'll continue to do it. I have to say that if I was going to jump into NXT and doing these, I picked a great one to start with. It was a fantastic show, start to finish. The women's match main event, Rhea Ripley and Io Shirai, is one of the best women's matches I have seen in a long time, really up there comparably with when Hikaru Shida beat Nyla Rose for the title. And, of course, the great stuff Bayley and Sasha have been doing, and any number of matches involving Asuka. All right, let's just jump into this NXT. So we had good old Ruff, who won the NXT North American Championship from Johnny Gargano. And so Gargano gets his rematch. The expectation is he's going to demolish Ruff. But nope, Damian Priest in a little surprise move after, Ruff gets to show off a little bit, to be fair, right? Priest pulls Ruff out of the ring when he's sure to lose, and then apologizes and then punches him. So he gets to win by DQ over Gargano. Ridiculous, but also kind of great. We had a blindfold match between Cameron Grimes and Dexter Lumis. This has been going on for a while. I wasn't feeling this feud. I hate blindfold matches as a rule. So both of them basically took off their blindfolds, and then they fight. It's a no contest. There's really nothing to talk about. It's really more of a kind of a gimmicked segment than a match. So, all right. So obviously this is setting up for a different stipulation where they can go all out. I'm okay with this because I hate blindfold matches. I think they're pretty lame. I think the psychology behind them is boringly obvious. And by the way, the psychology of face versus heel in a blindfold match when you don't have a real crowd is incidental, as Hannibal Lecter would say. Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell versus Casey Catanzaro and Caden Carter. Woo! Mouthfuls of names. Main takeaways from this is Shotzi Blackheart challenging Candice LeRae to bring an army to fight her in the War Games. So I guess one of our War Games matches is on December 6th is going to be the ladies. Pretty awesome. So this match was boy, and AEW suffers from this a lot as well. It's just things just didn't feel right. It just felt awkward. LeRae and Hartwell win, but the match just felt flat and it felt very mechanical. So, Kushida against Arturo Ruas was our next match, and thank God for the end of Raw Underground, so we don't have to see Ruas embarrass himself in those terrible things. This match was okay, I guess. Kushida, though, with a really cool pinning combination at the end there to defeat Ruas. Cool. And Ruas looked better here than he could in those Raw Underground things, which people would think would play to his strengths, but it played to nobody's strengths. Those things were terrible. Ruas looks okay here in his match debut for NXT. Tony Storm and Ember Moon versus Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. By the way, how amazing is it between the AEW Dark show and this NXT show where you have the a ton of matches feature the women, and they have to throw in tag matches to get even more women in. It's just really a cool time, and I hope people appreciate what NXT and AEW are doing as far as women's wrestling goes. It's really phenomenal, really great thing. So this match was certainly better than the other women's tag match. Really stand out. I think everybody looked good here. Um, and for you, inside cradle for the pin, not my favorite, but you know what? The match was so good, the cradle actually made sense. And boy, Storm getting the win over Kai, really, really great. And then Candice LeRae attacking the baby faces, and that way she can ensure that she locks up a heel team worth having for the War Games. It all makes sense. All the storylines work here on NXT. They keep things very simple. People do things for very logical reasons. Other WWE shows don't have this level of logic. Raw. So it's really nice to see. Really good. The match was also a slow build, which shouldn't be a thing to be scared of. Good is good, and that women's tag match was definitely good. Speaking of good, we got Timothy Thatcher, who's one of my personal favorites, against August Gray. A pretty good match that did exactly what it's supposed to do, which is Thatcher winning with the guillotine choke. And he tapped out quickly, which I liked. I don't know why guys think holding out and then tapping is always the way to go. It is not. Put over people's finishers, please. Then we got William Regal in a little bit, finding Boa at his house, trying to get answers out of him about Zia Lee and all that stuff. He just said that she was coming and shut the door. All right. So it goes. And then this women's championship match with Io Shirai, champion, against Rhea Ripley. Fucking great. I don't know what to tell you. It's great. The finish was brilliant because if they're calling Shirai, the master of the sky or whatever that shtick is, genius of the sky, I believe. Though at times it didn't seem that way when I've watched her matches. This one was really great. I thought that the idea of, Ripley getting powerbombed through the announce table, barely getting in through 10, but then getting caught with the moonsault for the finish was really fantastic. Sort of a logical series of events. Really, really, really fucking great. Really impressed with this NXT show. I'm going to definitely stick around. And I guess I watch NXT, but I watch it kind of casually. And this will force me to watch it closer, which I think NXT definitely warrants. So great stuff. Really happy that this was the first edition, that women's match and the women's main event, and then the women's tag, both standouts. And it's great to see Thatcher get a squash. And the Atlanta guy, Ruff, being the North American champion and getting a bit of a rub. So it's really good stuff overall. Got to say, I'm very pleased. And this has been your friend in wrestling, Stephen Platinum, with Platinum versus NXT.